Imagine waking up tomorrow, only to discover that tomorrow doesn't exist. Not because the world ended, but because everyone around you believes it's still yesterday. Every single day. For more than 20 years, the residents of a small town called Ashvale woke up believing it was June 14th. The calendars never changed. The newspapers never changed. Even their memories never changed. And the strangest part? Nobody noticed. Nobody except one man, a man who would uncover a secret buried beneath the town. A secret that could destroy the last survivors of humanity. Nathan Carter woke to the familiar sound of birds outside his bedroom window. The sunlight shone through the curtains. His alarm clock read exactly 6 o'clock. Just another normal morning. At least, that's what he thought. As he sat up in bed, something immediately caught his attention. A folded piece of paper rested on his nightstand. Nathan frowned. He didn't remember leaving a note there. Curious, he picked it up. The paper contained only a few words. Don't trust your memories. Nathan stared at the message. Then he laughed nervously. Who writes something like that? But as he was about to toss the note away, he noticed something else. The handwriting looked familiar. Very familiar. It was his. A chill ran down his spine. Slowly he unfolded the remaining pages, and what he found would change everything. The pages were filled with notes. Dozens of them. Every page was written in his own handwriting. The first sentence made his stomach drop. If you're reading this, your memory has been erased again. Nathan blinked. Then read it again. Surely this was a prank. It had to be. But the pages continued. According to the journal, today wasn't June 14th. In fact, it hadn't been June 14th for more than 20 years. Nathan immediately checked his phone. June 14th. He looked at the calendar on the wall. June 14th. The television news station. June 14th. Everything said the same thing. Yet something deep inside him began to feel uneasy. The journal instructed him to check the back of his closet. And against his better judgment, he did. Hidden beneath a loose floorboard was a small wooden box. Nathan opened it, then froze. Inside were hundreds of notebooks. Every one of them belonged to him. Everyone. And every notebook began with the exact same sentence. My memory was erased again. At that moment, Nathan realized something terrifying. Either he was losing his mind, or his entire town was, and what he discovered next would prove that reality itself was broken. That morning, Nathan started paying attention. Really paying attention. For the first time in his life, the mailman walked down the street. Exactly at 8:12. The neighbor's dog barked. Exactly 3 times. The school bus arrived. Exactly at 8:24. Everything happened with perfect precision. At first it seemed normal. Then Nathan noticed something strange. The next day, the exact same events happened again, and again, and again. Every movement, every conversation, every smile. It was as if the town was trapped inside a script, one that nobody realized they were following. So Nathan began asking questions. Simple questions. Questions that should have been easy to answer. What did you do yesterday? The reactions were immediate. Some people looked confused. Some laughed nervously. Others changed the subject completely. But nobody answered. Not one person. Because nobody could remember. And that's when Nathan made a discovery that would reveal the horrifying truth hidden beneath Ashvale. A truth buried underground, waiting for someone to find it. Nathan couldn't stop thinking about the journals. For years, possibly decades, he had been leaving messages for himself. That meant one thing. At some point, he had already discovered the truth. And according to the most recent notebook, the next clue was hidden beneath Town Hall. That night, after the streets fell silent, Nathan made his way across town. The building stood alone under the pale glow of the streetlights. It looked ordinary, a place he'd probably visited hundreds of times. Yet tonight it felt different, as if it was hiding something important. Using a key taped inside one of the journals, Nathan slipped inside. The hallways were dark, silent, empty. His flashlight beam swept across old photographs and dusty filing cabinets. Then he found it. A message carved into the wall. 3 words. Look behind them! Nathan stared at the filing cabinets. Slowly, he pushed them aside. And there it was. A steel door, hidden from plain sight. His heart began pounding. The keypad beside it glowed faintly. For a moment, he hesitated. Because once he opened that door, there would be no going back. The code worked. The heavy door unlocked with a loud metallic click. Cold air rushed out from the darkness beyond. Nathan stepped forward. A staircase descended deep underground, far deeper than any basement should. The deeper he went, the louder the humming became, a low mechanical vibration, like the heartbeat of something enormous. Finally, the staircase ended. Nathan stepped into a chamber so large he couldn't see the far walls. His flashlight wasn't strong enough. Rows of machinery stretched into the darkness. Thousands of blinking lights flickered overhead. And at the center stood something impossible. A machine. A gigantic machine. Towering hundreds of feet into the air. Covered in cables, steel platforms, and glowing panels. Nathan could only stare. His mind struggled to understand what he was seeing. Then a voice echoed from behind him. "You found it again." Nathan spun around. Standing in the shadows was Mayor Evelyn Brooks. The woman everyone trusted. The woman who had been leading Ashvale for as long as anyone could remember. Yet somehow, she didn't seem surprised to see him. The mayor didn't run. She didn't call for help. Instead, she looked tired. Very tired, like someone carrying a burden too heavy to bear. "How much do you remember?" she asked. Nathan shook his head. "Nothing." The mayor sighed. Then she led him into a control room overlooking the machine. The walls were covered in screens. Maps, photographs, records, thousands of records. What Nathan saw next nearly brought him to his knees. Images of cities, entire cities, empty, abandoned, covered in vegetation. Highways clogged with rusting vehicles. Airports with planes still sitting on runways. No people, no signs of life. The mayor finally spoke. 23 years ago, the world ended. Nathan stared at her. "What do you mean?" "No one knows exactly what happened." She pointed to one of the screens. One night, millions of people simply disappeared. Entire countries collapsed within weeks. Governments failed. Communication networks died. Civilization followed. Only a few isolated communities survived. Ashvale was one of them. Nathan's chest tightened. Everything he had ever known suddenly felt fragile, unreal, because the world he thought existed had been gone for decades. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was why the machine existed, and why it had been running every night for 23 years. The mayor pointed toward a photograph hanging on the wall. A family smiling at a picnic. The date beneath it read, June 14th. "The last normal day," she said. "Before the disappearances, before the panic, before humanity lost everything." Nathan listened silently. The survivors couldn't cope. The mayor continued. "They lost their families, their friends, their entire world. Many couldn't handle the grief. Some ended their lives. Others completely lost their minds. Humanity wasn't dying because of the catastrophe. Humanity was dying because of the trauma. So scientists created the machine, a machine capable of rewriting memory. Every night at midnight, it erased the previous day and replaced it with memories of June 14th, the last day anyone remembered being happy. Nathan felt sick. The people of Ashvale weren't trapped by accident. They had been trapped on purpose. Then Nathan noticed something strange. A wall covered with photographs. Thousands of them. Every photo featured the same person. Him. Nathan walked closer. His hands trembled. One photograph looked recent. Another was decades old. Yet he looked exactly the same. The same face. The same age. The same expression. What is this? The mayor looked away. The machine doesn't just erase memories. Nathan felt dread creeping into his chest. It slows aging. The room suddenly felt smaller. Harder to breathe. "You've been alive through all 23 years. Nathan staggered backward. "No, you've discovered the truth before." The mayor's voice cracked. "Many times." The mayor handed him a final notebook. Unlike the others, this one was worn almost beyond recognition. Nathan opened it. The final entry was only a few lines, but those lines changed everything. "If you're reading this, I've failed again." Nathan frowned, then continued reading. "I've reached this room 37 times. His heartbeat stopped. 37. Every time I promise myself I'll shut the machine down. Every time I lose my courage. Every time I restart it. Nathan's hands shook. 37 attempts. 37 opportunities. 37 forgotten tomorrows. And now, he was standing in the same room again. The mayor led him to a single switch. A small switch controlling the entire system. Such a simple thing, yet it held the future of every person in Ashvale. "If you turn it off," she said quietly, "everyone will remember. Their families, their losses, the end of the world, everything." Nathan imagined the pain. 23 years of grief flooding back all at once. Some people might never recover, but if he left the machine running, No one would ever truly live again. There would be no future. No growth. No tomorrow. Only June 14th. Forever. Nathan looked at the switch. Then at the photographs. Then at the notebook. The final message stared back at him. Please, end this. For a long moment, he stood perfectly still. The machine hummed beneath the town. Above them, thousands of people slept peacefully, unaware of the truth, unaware that tomorrow had been waiting for them for 23 years. Nathan took a deep breath and pressed the switch. The humming stopped. The lights flickered, then died. Darkness swallowed the facility. Silence. For the first time in decades, silence. And somewhere above, as dawn approached, June 15th finally arrived. But here's the question. If you were standing in Nathan's place, would you have done the same? Would you choose a painful truth or a comforting lie? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that make you question reality.